All right, we are recording right now. So again, welcome everybody to the Cub Scout parent recruitment. Again, for those of you who just joined us, my name is Kevin Fuller, part of the Heart of New England Council Cub Scout experience team and committee chair for PAC 193 in Winchendon, Mass. I know a couple of you have already heard this, but I am not in uniform today because I am actually doing this live from the field of Camp Winoxet. My troop is camping out up here in the beautiful winter wonderland. So I apologize for not being in uniform, but I'm trying to stay warm at the same time. So Cub Scout parent recruitment. It's a very important thing. Why? Parents. Without parents, there's obviously no Cub Scouts. The parents get the Cub Scouts to come to you guys, and the parents are there to help out. Sometimes they may not seem like they want to help out, and that's what we're going to talk about today. There's 4 types of parents that you want to be on the hunt for and look out for. The where do I sign up species, the I'll be over there if you need me species, the let me finish this tweet species, and the I'll pick you up later species. And we're going to be going over each one of these species in just a couple minutes. So let's examine that. So the where do I sign up species? This is the parent that was a scout and knows all there is to know about scouting, right? So we always rank them potential rating, high to low. That's a pretty broad range for a potential rating. It could be a very simple, yeah, this person is awesome. You know, she was a den leader before. He was an Eagle. He is an Eagle Scout. And it's going to be awesome. Or it could be that they're flaunting, to be honest with you. Characteristics of the where do I sign up species. Previous experience, like I said, could be an Eagle Scout, maybe a former Scoutmaster or a former Assistant Scoutmaster, and they have children that are Cub Scout age now, but they have scouting experience. They come with the YPT and forms already complete. Holy cow, how did that happen? Did that really happen? I have everything's complete here. You've taken den leader training and everything. Unbelievable. They come to their very first meeting or your sign up night wearing their uniform. That's a sign that this person may be very interested in helping your pack out. However, there are things to watch for. Are they in it for the long haul? Lots of times, I would say, if you were to put a percentage on it, 70 to 75% of the time, they're in it for the long haul. They're in it for their son or daughter to make their way all the way from lion all the way to eagle. Unfortunately, there's that 25% where they're a flash in the pan. They come in maybe for a month or so, this is awesome, and then they realize, you know what, this isn't what I remember scouting being, because they were a scout and they weren't the ones planning all the stuff. So it might be things to look out for the where do I sign up species. Could be great, could be bad. You have to take a look and you have to figure out which one you're dealing with. If you need me, I'll be right over there species, right? Potential rating on this species is very high to very high. What happens is the characteristics, they come in, they introduce themselves. Hello, my name is Mrs. Smith. Hello, I'm Mr. Jones. I'm so-and-so's father or mother. And if you need me, I'll be right over there. Just let me know. They let their scouts do their thing. They know this is for the scouts. This isn't the adult Scouts of America, right? This is, it's the Boy Scouts of America. It's Scouts BSA. It's Cub Scouts. They let their scouts do their own thing. But you catch them glancing over every now and then just to see what they're doing, because they have an invested interest. Things to watch out for this particular species. They're interested enough to want to know what is going on. They want to see what kind of game they're playing. What is their scout doing? They're constantly peeking around. Maybe they're sending a work email. Maybe they're on Facebook, but they're consistently looking. And if you approach them, they would be willing to help if asked. The I'll be right over there species is probably one of the best species to look out for. Let me finish my tweet species, medium to low. So this is the species that comes in with their scout, and they're on their phone, and all they do is kind of guide the scout over to the den and the den leader, or the pack and the cub master. They can't be bothered to look away from their phone. Characteristics: they're very busy all the time. They're tweeting, they're Instagramming, they're Facebooking, they're checking emails, they're constantly texting, easily distracted. If their phone goes off, they're grabbing their phone and answering whatever communication form came in. They have to take that call. They can't let that call go. It has to be answered within that 60 to 90-minute time frame that they're with their Cub Scout. Things to watch for: they vanish often. They stay in their car. And if they put the phone down, and they're kind of watching, that's a good thing. That way, that the parent is looking and seeing what the scout is doing. They have a little bit of an interest in it as well. If they stay in the car, well, that's a little bit of a situation. They clearly want some me time, alone time, which there's nothing wrong with it. We're all parents, right? And we need that adult time just to get away. They vanish. They're in the hall. Oh, now they're not. Oh, now they're back. Now they're not. That type of thing. So things to watch out for. Let me finish my tweet species. And the last one is the I'll pick you up later species. Potential rating unknown, because you don't see them. Characteristics: they might go unseen. You don't know who they are. You do know that that's Johnny Scout's parent or Julie Scout's parent, but you don't know their name. You just call them Mr. or Mrs. Smith or whatever the last name is. Things to watch for: not coming into the building. Now, most packs have a rule where the parent has to bring the scout into the building. If that happens, obviously you want to go talk to the scout, or talk to the parent, and say, hey, I just need you to bring your scout in. That way we know you have dropped off your scout. And also when they come in, to pick up their scout as well. But things to watch for: they don't come into the building to drop off or pick up. They're dropping off and picking up late. They might be busy. Maybe there's multiple parents or multiple kids that they're trying to get, one to soccer practice, one to scouts, one to chess club, whatnot. But just things to watch for. So we really don't know much about the I'll pick you up later species. So how do you identify these species? Pretty simple, actually. You want to people watch. Now, if you're a Cub Master, committee chair, someone on the committee, and you're not running a den, this is easy. Cub Master, goes around to the dens and observes, watches, looks at the parents. Which parent is picking up the pair of scissors to help cut the snowflakes for the Christmas carnival? Which parent is sitting in the corner tweeting? Which parent is not there? The Cub Master and the committee chair can definitely do that if they're not double tasking and running a den at the same time. So people watch. Den leaders can do the same thing as well. Yes, den leaders are absolutely busy running the den, making sure that all the supplies are there and the activities are happening and all that good stuff. But a den leader can absolutely watch the parents as well, and to see, to identify which species they're dealing with. Take your time and window shop. Just because someone has a pulse doesn't mean they're the right fit for the job. We always want volunteers, but you want the volunteers in it for the long haul. So take your time and definitely window shop, test drive the parents. Make your pack and den fun and inviting. That's the easiest way to get a parent to offer to help out. They may not be donning the tan shirts or the yellow shirts, and taking that den leader training. Maybe they are now the helper for the Pinewood Derby, or they are the outdoor specialist where they're setting up the pack camp out or the hikes and stuff like that. And that's perfectly fine. There's a place for a parent in your pack. Every parent has a place in your pack, but you got to make it fun and inviting. Adults love the bling too. We've talked a lot about Cub Scouts getting their belt loops and their patches and their ranks and other awards and getting the trophies. Adults love that too, but it doesn't have to be a giant trophy from the Pinewood Derby. It could be a simple thank you. Thanking a parent and thanking the adults of your pack goes a long way to make sure that you're identifying the right species. There are adult awards, obviously, but just a simple, here's a can of Moxie because you got the Moxie, or whatever cheesy, corny little thank you guys want to come up with. There's so many of them you can do, but make sure you thank the parents, thank the leaders, and make your pack fun and inviting. Don't downplay the job. How many of you heard it's only an hour a week, right? We all got suckered in that way, right? Well, in reality, it's an hour a week per scout, per unit. If you're involved in multiple units, you multiply that. That's for sure. Don't downplay it. You can use the joke. It's an hour a week, but we all know it's not an hour a week. It's definitely a part-time job. And anybody who is invested in the scouting program, running it for their scout and other people's scouts, it knows that as well. So don't downplay the job. It's not an hour a week. There's prepping, there's planning, there's purchasing, there's all sorts of stuff, follow-up phone calls and texting and all that good stuff. And we've all been there. So, when you're asking a parent to help out, don't downplay it. Don't be like, oh yeah, you only have to come to one meeting a month. You're fine. No. There's going to be more to it. Be very upfront with the parent when asking to help, for that parent's help. Get the parent for the long haul. Successful packs will get a parent, hopefully at Lions or back in the day, Tigers, and that parent will go all the way right through Arrow of Light as a den leader or as your committee member or as your cub master. Get the parent for the long haul. And there's simple ways of doing that. One of the biggest things is a support system. If your committee chair and your pack trainer and your cub master have been in the program for a period of time, that's the support system that they're looking for. You never ever want to just say, here's the guidebook, here's the handbook, here's the meeting place, have fun. Let them know that you're there for them. Hey, if you need any help, let me know. I'll be glad to help cover a meeting if you have a doctor's appointment or you're not feeling well. Do you need anything? What supplies do you need? Make sure they know that you're there for them. Going back to the support system, very important. If your pack does have supplies, let them know that they don't have to go out and buy the supplies. A lot of den leaders automatically think that they have to go out and spend their own money. Not true. If your pack has a supply closet, let them know, have an inventory list, hey, you don't have to go out and buy those popsicle sticks. I got 3,000 of them in the closet, but if they do go out and buy something, make sure you let them know that they can get reimbursed. Some parents are absolutely, no, I don't need to be reimbursed. I'm considered a donation. But you do have some parents that, even though they spent only $5 at the Dollar Tree, they still need to be reimbursed. So make sure you let them know that they don't have to supply all their goodies, all for everything. All right. So how do we get parents? What's the easiest way to get parents? The first one's the Oreo test. The Oreo test is one of my favorite tests. It's real simple. You've got your eye on a parent. The parent's been coming every week and kind of helping out, jumping in, grabbing those scissors, handing out the paper, making sure everything's cleaned up afterwards, the glitter's off the floor, you name it. They're doing all the janitorial work, we'll say. Well, that parent is now ready for the ask. But are you 100% sure about that parent? That's the question. So what I've done in the past, and it seems to work pretty well, is let's just say you provide snacks to your den. Hey, Mrs. Smith, I was wondering, next week, could you provide a snack for us? Oh, you could? Great. Awesome. That's fantastic. I was hoping to do Oreos. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll grab some Oreos and bring them to next week's meeting. Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Flash forward a week later, parent comes in. There's different things that are going to happen. If they come in with a package of Oreos, they listened, they understood, they figured it out, they did what you asked. That is a perfect parent. They absolutely did that. If they came in with double stuffed, double points, right? Double stuffed, double the points. So, but it's still an Oreo. If they came in with Hydrox or Cremos or a store brand one, that's perfectly fine too. It's still an Oreo type of product. They were thrifty. They saved money. They knew the importance of trying to save money for your pack. That's a perfect parent as well. If they come in with celery sticks, if they come in with Chips Ahoy, if they come in with a different type of snack, they didn't listen. I'm not saying that parent isn't going to be a good person to ask, but they didn't listen. So an Oreo test is kind of a gauge on how you can ask, or how you can gauge your parent on whether or not they're going to be a good fit. Just because they brought in the celery sticks or the Chips Ahoy or whatnot, like I said, doesn't mean they're not a good fit. But they didn't listen, and if they couldn't remember, they didn't reach out to you and say, "Hey, what did you ask me to bring to the den meeting next week?" And they could easily do that. There's so many different ways of communicating nowadays: texting, Facebook Messenger, the good old phone call. Pick up the phone and ring somebody, right? So an Oreo test is a good way of checking out and gauging different parents. All right. My absolute favorite way of recruiting parents. My pack calls it the Kleenex pack meeting. The reason why it's called the Kleenex pack meeting is because there's not a dry eye in the in the hall, in the church hall, the American Legion, wherever you're meeting. We've been doing this for 10 years now, and we find it's a very effective way of recruiting parents into your pack. Excuse me for 1 second. The Kleenex pack meeting is really simple. It's usually the October, November meeting after you've had a chance to figure out the parents you want to ask, and you've already asked those particular parents. There's still a lot of parents out there that can absolutely do something. So what we do is we take a pack meeting, like I said, usually October, November, and we turn that into what we call the Kleenex pack meeting. The setup is real simple. So the materials we need for the Kleenex pack meeting: an 8 to 10 foot piece of adding machine tape. Just regular adding machine tape, real simple. 2 Cub Scouts, you already have them. 1 Lion and preferably 1 Webelos or Arrow of Light. You want both ends of the spectrum. You want the brand new Lion, and you want that Webelos Arrow of Light. Print up or buy from Staples or wherever, "Hello, my name is blank" stickers. Poster boards throughout the room with needed open positions. You need den leaders, you need committee members, you need a popcorn kernel, you need an outdoor specialist, you need the Pinewood Derby committee, you need the blue and gold committee. I can go on and on and on of the different positions that you need. So poster boards throughout the room, written on them with needed open positions. This presentation takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Before we get into the presentation, what you want to do is you want to take your 8 to 10 foot adding machine tape, and you want to write from 0 to 100 on it. This is not 8 to 10 feet. If it was, I would be all the way in the back wall. This is just a couple feet. This is just a sample, but you want your 8 to 10 foot one, like I said, with number 0 and 10 increments all the way to 100. Pick your 2 Cub Scouts. Just ask for volunteers. Real simple. The "Hello, my name is blank" stickers. What you want to do is you want to assign a couple of committee members, because the den leaders are probably getting ready to help set up the pack meeting or to have their own presentations. So select a couple of committee members to stand at the door to welcome everybody. Every parent who is not a registered committee member or leader gets a "Hello, my name is blank" sticker. They write their name on the sticker, they put it on their shirt, their jacket, and they wear it all night. Poster boards, just go to the Dollar Tree, pick up some poster boards, reuse them, because you're going to need the same positions every year, and stick them around the room on the walls with what positions that are open and that are needed. Don't make mention of them at all during the pack meeting. Pack meeting, just like normal. Announcements, you got your activities, you got your awards, and then the Cub Master minute. Could be the Cub Master doing it, could be the committee chair doing it. Whoever makes the biggest impact should be doing this presentation. And it's always done at the end of the meeting. So after all the awards are given out and all the activities are done and things are starting to close down, getting ready for that closing and the Cub Master minute. If done right, this can be a super successful recruitment for parents. And what I mean by is done right, I'm going to go through the whole thing with you right now. This is kind of my big ta-da part of my presentation. So there's a script, and I will have this available for everybody, and you can adapt it to your pack's needs. So again, you have your 8 to 10 foot long adding machine tape or calculator tape, and you have one scout on one end, one scout on the other end, one lion, one Weeblo's arrow of light, and you've marked it off. So you start out saying, with the current advances in medical technology, it is very likely that your scout will live to 100 years old. Here is a timeline of their life. So the helpers, they unroll the tape in front of you. So that way the 8 to 10 foot piece of tape is right there in front of all the parents and the scouts. If you're 35 now, statistically, you'll live until you're 75 or so, when your scout will be, we'll say about 50. Now, at this point, you walk over to the adding machine tape, and at the halfway point, you rip it right at the 50 mark. Take one end of it very dramatically and just toss it to the ground. And then you have the two helpers hold it up again. So now you've just shortened that tape in half. This represents the years you and your scout will have together in their lifetime. Now you've just shortened their time spent together in half, right? And right now they're probably about 8 or 9 years old. So now you take right at the 10 mark and you rip it, and you take the big piece, and again, very dramatically toss it to the ground. So now it's shorter. Here's the timeline of the time you have left together with your scout. How old do you think the scout will be when they go away to college, or you decide it's time to be out on their own? 18 or 20? Take it and you rip it at the 20 mark. So now you have, I ripped it too early on the 10, I apologize. Now you have a very short timeline. So after you ripped it off at the 20, this is the amount of time you have left with them at home. When they're about 13, middle-aged, their friends start becoming a much bigger, maybe the major influence in their life. Now you cut it at the right by the 10 mark. And again, drop it to the floor. So now you've shortened this whole time from 8 to 10 feet to like maybe 6 inches at this point. Now, if you can, assuming you have a teenager or a scout that's out of Cub Scouts, make a comment about how you know from this experience. For me, I have 3 sons that went through the scouting program from either Tigers or Lions all the way into Scouts BSA. My youngest son just crossed over just a couple months ago, as a matter of fact. So I can go on about the different impacts it's had, Cub Scouting has had, and how I enjoy working with my scouts in Cub Scouts, but come up with some sort of personal story about how you have worked with your scout in Cub Scouts and how it impacted you and how it made you guys a better bond between the scout and the parent. So now you've got the 8 to 10 mark, right? Very small window now. This is the time you have left to be a major shaping force in your scout's life. You can show them how important they are to you by becoming involved in scouting. Scouting is a remarkable opportunity for you and your scout to share a great variety of fun, exciting, and positive experiences. Experiences that give you the opportunity to help them grow into an adult, and you'll be proud to point and say, that's my son or daughter. They're a good person. At this point, if done correctly, and you weren't freezing at Camp Winoxet, it'd be a little more effective. But you have this very small piece in your hands, and you just told the parents that they have roughly 10 years of quality time with their scout before the world starts getting involved with friends, and then teenagers, cars, girlfriends, boyfriends, college, high school, college, and then marriage, kids of their own. So a very small window. So then now you go and talk about volunteer opportunities that you have in your pack. Hey, we're looking for den leaders, for the tiger den. Hey, we're looking for a wolf den leader or assistant den leader. Also mention the positions that, like I said, they don't have to put on the tan shirt every week and help out. Some parents are reluctant to do that. They don't want to commit to a full-time den leader job. Some parents are much more comfortable helping out at the Pinewood Derby Planning Committee or the Pinewood Derby Planning. I'm sorry, Blue and Gold Pinewood. I keep saying Pinewood Derby. I'm sorry. I think I got Tedford's my brain in my head right now. The Blue and Gold Committee. And it's one of those things where you got to look at the parents, look at what positions you have, and go for the gusto. We need that Weeblos den leader, or go with we just need somebody to help us out at the pancake breakfast, collecting money, have different committees available. At this point, after you've described all of the opportunities that the parent has to help out in your pack, let them know that you're not asking them to volunteer. Volunteering to me means that you're expecting them to do something. Let them know that you're asking them to get involved with their scout and to have a much better time in the scouting program together. So everybody now has heard the speech. You've done your little timeline. You've ripped your pieces, let them drop to the floor. It's time to close. So whoever's doing the presentation, I encourage you to remove your name tag and place it on one of the poster boards around the room before you leave tonight. This will help us, create a stronger and better program for your scouts. Make sure you mention your scouts, because it is their scouts. You're not doing this just for your own scout. You're doing it for the 50 other scouts that you have in your pack, the 20 other scouts, the 6 other scouts in your den. You don't have just one scout. You have many, many scouts, and you need to let the parents know that we are doing it for their scouts. And we thank them, and we would like them to drive safe. So that's the presentation. Again, I did mess it up a little bit. I apologize. I may re-record this on my own and put it on there, but the timeline makes a big difference, especially with the scouts at each end, and the dramatic ripping of it and letting it fall to the floor. Pack 193 has had a filled position for 10 years. The only positions that are never filled, because it's virtually impossible when you start the scouting year, is lions, or in the past tigers, before the lion program became available. We've always had a solid core of parents, working their way. We've had to ask for assistant den leaders if the den got too big, but we've always had that den leader in place. That cub master was always there, because we've been successful in parent recruiting, and it's awesome. We consider ourselves lucky, but we also consider ourselves to be creative as well when it comes to asking for parents, because everything that we put out on the screen today is everything that we do. And like I said, for the past 10 years, we have not had a huge turnover ratio. You hear a lot of packs and dens saying that they never have a wolf den leader, or the cub master's filling in for the wolf den, or is covering the wolf den or the bear den or whatnot. That works. But getting those parents involved is very, very, very important. So at this point, I am going to open it up to any questions. If anybody has any questions or suggestions, kind of a round robin type of presentation here. So I'm going to throw my information out on the screen here. If you guys want to copy it down, by all means. That's my email address for the Heart of New England Council, and my phone number if anybody needs to get a hold of me. So yeah, open it up to any questions at this point.
So Kevin, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
Stephen Vitale, Cubmaster Pack 1 in Acton. So this may be due to my own lack of experience, but the way you kind of started out saying, how you identify prospective parents who are good candidates to help out with the pack. And you gave a good taxonomy of the different kinds of parents. It seemed like you were sort of implying that there would be a pack master or somebody else in leadership, like at every one of the den meetings, observing all of the parents. I'm just trying to reconcile that with that's kind of not how our pack runs. I mean, usually den meetings are at a leader's house,
Mhm.
and there's no cub master there. I can't go to everybody's house 5 times a week.
Sure.
So what maybe you can clarify what you maybe explain again how that process would take place.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. We're not saying that a cub master should be at every den meeting. If the cub master has a chance to visit a den meeting a week, in your case, if they're at different houses and whatnot, or the committee chair or another committee member, maybe it's a seasoned veteran, even a seasoned parent veteran that this is their third child through your pack, so they know how the pack runs. It's impossible for a cub master to be at every den meeting all the time. Absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely not what I was implying. Just you want that top leadership, your key three, your cub master, your committee chair, even your charter organization rep, if they're engaged, to kind of visit a den every now and then. Plus, it's a good gauge on how the den is going. Did you start off with 10 scouts and then all of a sudden now they're down to 5? Why? Find out why that type of thing happened. So you can rely on the den leaders as well. Just when you send out communication to your den leaders, just say, hey, we're starting the parent recruitment process. You got a list of anybody that you feel would we can ask, and then you can reach out individually, email, phone, text, however you want to do it. But no, I'm certainly not implying that the cub master should be at every den meeting.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions, comments, concerns, death threats? All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I certainly appreciate your attendance, and I hope you took something away from this. Again, either the slide deck or the video will be up available. I will definitely send the slide deck out to everybody that was in attendance here, and I will send the script out as well that we use. Alter it, to fit your pack's needs. That way, you're going to hit home, because you're going to know more about your pack than I do. Obviously, I know pack 193. That's the pack I've been involved in for 11 years. Do I know pack 107? No. I know some of the leaders. Do I know pack 1? No, I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of all your packs. So adapt it as you need it. And it's one of those things where it's successful, but definitely alter it to how you want to alter it, to the needs of your pack. So again, I hope you guys learned something, and I really do appreciate the time that you guys put in for all your Cub Scouts and your packs. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm gonna stop recording as well.